Well, it all starts tomorrow. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Hanson Media. Today we're going to be talking about the end of spring training here for the Phils, some Phils news, and a little bit of my expectations for the Phils here in 2023. Spring training is now officially over. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Phillies regular season baseball returns tomorrow in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field as Aaron Nola will be going against former New York Met Jacob deGrom at 4:05 Eastern Time. So opening day is finally upon us. Felt like a pretty short off season, I'll be honest with you. And that's mostly because of the last game we saw the Phils was on November the 5th, which really wasn't all that long ago. So we're, as I mentioned before, I think it was last video, I said we're so used to not seeing Phillies baseball past like the end of September, so it was quite strange to see go in to the first week of November. Clearly that was pretty unusual because of the lockout. It would have been about a week and a half before that. Because of the season being delayed, made it even go a little bit longer than that. That's why the World Series went into the first week of November. But the regular season is finally here, ladies and gentlemen. It is strange for me, to not be doing every game anymore. I once again want to announce that. If you don't see a video for tomorrow's game against the Rangers, I'm not going to do it every game anymore. I'm doing every recap after every homestand and every road trip. So the next time you'll see me will be next Thursday, as I will be recapping the Phillies road trip. 3 games in Texas, of course, the off day on Friday, and then we travel to New York and play the Yankees for some interleague matchup, 2 interleague matchups to start the year. 4:05 in Texas tomorrow, off days on Friday, 4:05 again on Saturday, and then some Sunday night baseball, first of the year. The Phillies on Sunday night baseball, 7:08, the first pitch on ESPN. And then we got 3 games in New York, 7:05, 7:05, and then 1:05. Then we return home and play against the Reds. And we also have that off day on Friday, which is just so stupid. We play the first game of the season, and we have a day off the very next day. So I'm really happy that Phillies baseball is back, and I'm ready. Spring is in the air. I'm just itching for spring. The grass is getting greener. When you walk outside, you can finally smell things again, right? Because in the winter, you walk outside, it's so cold, you can't even smell anything. It's nice to smell the mulch, and you can just smell spring, man. It's really, really feels good. But a lot has happened here this past week. A devastating injury for the Phils. Oh my gosh, Rhys Hoskins tears his ACL. My goodness gracious. You're already going to be without Bryce Harper for the majority of the first half of the season. And now you lose Rhys Hoskins for the year. So he's going to have to undergo surgery. Now Derek Hall is going to be your opening day first baseman, a guy that has done terrible against left-handed pitching in his career. So you're going to have to do something. We're going to have to make a trade or a signing or something, because he can't be our everyday first baseman because he's just so bad against left-handed pitching. He's horrible. He's a disaster. It was a non-contact play with Rhys Hoskins. It was a ground ball. It was certainly kind of an awkward play for him, and non-contact, and man, he was in a lot of pain, and it had to be carted off the field. I think we all knew it was a pretty catastrophic injury when it happened. After seeing Andrew McCutchen tear his ACL running up the first base line in San Diego back in 2019, now Rhys Hoskins tears his ACL here in spring training. I was so depressed for the rest of the day, and I'm still feeling it. I'm still so sad to hear this news. Because Rhys Hoskins is such a good human being, such a good teammate, and honestly, I think he was going to have a really good year. And he was going to provide you 30 home runs, 250 average, pretty decent OBP. He gets on base a lot, So it's definitely going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt here for the Phils. But they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. We still got Trey. We still got Schwartz. He's probably going to start off slow again. He always does. I think Castellanos is going to bounce back this year after recovering from that wrist potential injury he had last year, which it's probably true. So it's hard to believe it all starts tomorrow. But it certainly is frustrating that we don't have Rhys Hoskins. He is out for the year. Out for the year. It's not like just a few weeks, not just a few months. He is done. He is done for the year. C'est la vie. Gone. We won't see him until next spring. He probably won't even be ready for camp next year. Probably not. Maybe. But it's going to be a long road of recovery for him. Also, I want to talk about the JT Real Muto ejection. This was pathetic. Pathetic. happened on Monday afternoon as the Phillies were at TD Ballpark in Dunedin, Florida. I mean, JT Muto behind the plate, Craig Kimbrel didn't throw the pitch in time, and of course it was an automatic ball, made it a 2-2 count. And the umpire threw Craig Kimbrel a ball. He didn't like the ball. He threw it away, asked for another one. JT Muto puts his glove back there, and the umpire hesitates. And JT just thought he was just going to throw it back to Kimbrel, so he puts his glove down, and then the umpire tosses the ball, and it just lands in no man's land because JT Muto put his glove down, and he throws him out of the game. He throws him out of the game because JT Muto embarrassed him. Because there was a miscommunication with JT Muto because he put his glove down because he thought the umpire was going to throw back to Craig Kimbrel. He was going to throw the ball back to Craig Kimbrel, and JT Muto puts his glove down, and the umpire throws him out of the game because he was embarrassed. So, I mean, what is this, like a power trip now? Where you could just throw somebody out of the game just because you want to? I mean, whether they did something wrong or not. You know what? This guy embarrassed me. I need to take my anger out on somebody, so I'm just going to throw this guy out of the game. JT Muto, who has never been thrown out of the game in his life, gets thrown out over something so stupid like that. And this is just another example of umpires just abusing their power. He should be, there should be discipline there, man. They need to get on him. That is absolutely ridiculous. Somebody made a comment. They said Joe rest in training. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that comment. I mean, it's ridiculous. These umpires abusing their power like crazy. It needs to be stopped. I mean, there needs to be some serious checks and balances here. You throw the catcher out of the game because he put his glove down, and you throw the ball, and it lands like off of his glove and just into like no man's land, and you're embarrassed because he kind of showed you up unintentionally. He unintentionally showed you up, and then you throw him out of the game just because you thought he showed you up and you were embarrassed. So you had to take your frustration out on somebody, so you just threw him out of the game. I mean, what is this, like, junior high? I mean, come on. Grow up. It is just pathetic, and again, it's a disgrace to the game. And that was a minor league umpire, so he probably had his big ego walking in there thinking like, oh, I got something to prove here today. First of all, you're nothing special. You're a minor league umpire. Second of all, it's a spring training game. It is a spring training game, and he was around big league players, so it's like, I'm gonna flex myself a little bit here. I'm feeling insecure. I'm a minor league umpire, being around big league players. I'm feeling insecure. I'm not, I'm around the big guys. I feel small, but I need something to get my ego. I need something to pump up my ego. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw out the best catcher in the game. That's what I'm gonna do, and I hope you feel good about yourself. Whatever his name was, I don't even care what his name is. I hope you feel good about yourself. I hope that makes you feel good. Doing something like that. I mean, if you're that small and insignificant of a human being, then that's just pathetic. What an absolute joke. So I think everybody was laughing their heads off at that. I mean, the John Boy video was excellent as always. A lot of people were talking about it. It just was stupid. It just was so stupid. It was a clear abuse of power. Another example of clear abuse of power by an umpire. I'm not even going to say a major league umpire because it wasn't a major league umpire. It was just an umpire. Of course, it was a minor league ump. It was a clear abuse of power. So it's absurd. I mean, people were just, and JT Muto is like, what? I mean, are you kidding me, man? You're really going to throw me out for that? I mean, this was laughable. It was just laughable. It was just laughable. Anyway, that was just kind of a weird way to end spring training. Second to last game of spring training. Of course, the Phils finally wrapped up spring training yesterday with a 6-5 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays at Baycare Ballpark. So they're in Arlington, Texas. Trey Turner and company. Right? I am so pumped to begin this journey here in 2023. It's going to be something different for me. Watching this team, and it's going to be a lot different. I mean, the videos are still going to be 15 minutes. I apologize for my video being so short last time. I want to comment on that. It's because of the fact that I made the video prior to the game. I believe that was against the Orioles, and I was talking a little bit about, what they're going to be doing against the Orioles that day. He was going to be pitching. I ended up uploading it after the game, so I had to cut all that out because it was before the game even started, and it just would have been weird if I would have had that, uploaded after the game. So I had to cut all that out. So this video isn't going to be as short as the last one, but it's still going to be 15 minutes. But it's going to be not like all these little details. I'm going to have to restructure it because I have to cover a lot of content. I have to cover 7 games in just one video. So it's not going to be all these little minor details. It's a new adventure for me. It's a new adventure for you. I'm glad I'm still keeping my channel, my life. I'm glad I'm going to be still making content. I mean, it's certainly going to be strange tomorrow. I mean, spring training, I never really enjoyed recapping spring training, even when I did mostly every spring training game. Spring training was very a soulless experience for me. I just didn't really, maybe the first 3 games during spring training, you're like, oh my gosh, baseball's back. And then like the next day playing the Detroit Tigers, not at Baker Ballpark, and like you can't even listen to it on the radio, can't even watch it on TV. Like, okay, this just flat out, this is terrible. Spring training is a joke. So it just like, it doesn't take long to get sick of spring training. I mean, I think we were just like, every time this time of year, just like, oh my gosh, enough of spring training. You're going to be able to turn on 94 WFP every single game and hear it. You're going to be able to turn on NBC Sports Philadelphia every single game and watch it. Some expectations going into this season. So, I mean, obviously the Rangers are no slouch. Now they got Jacob deGrom. They stole Jacob deGrom from the Mets. I'd love to see that. Hopefully we light him up tomorrow. It's not going to be easy, for obvious reasons. I mean, he's definitely going to be a tough one. So Aaron Nola, the opening day starter. Really excited about that. Of course, they were trying to renegotiate a contract. Of course, he's on a contract year. Another fill on a contract year. And fortunately, I missed the deadline. He says, I do not want to negotiate during the middle of the season. So they have missed that deadline. And we got Zach Wheeler going against Nathan Eovaldi, the former Boston Red Sox, on Saturday afternoon at 4:05. And then on Sunday, we have Bailey Falter going against Martin Perez of the Texas Rangers. As I said, that is Sunday Night Baseball. And then, of course, we travel to New York. And we got Taijuan Walker back in New York. Of course, it's not against the Mets. And then we got Torres on the mound for the Yankees. And we got Matt Strahm. That's probably going to be an opener. As I said, they're going to exercise him. They're going to try to get some length out of him in the bullpen. The middle reliever on the bullpen. They're going to try. Dave Dombrowski said that a few weeks ago. I meant to mention that in my last video. I think I did, but I had to cut it out because I messed it up or something. But they're going to try to exercise Matt Strahm as a middle reliever. I talked about how weak the middle reliever role is in the Phillies bullpen, and we hardly have anybody that can really give us some length there. But I think Matt Strahm is going to be one of those guys that can. And that's certainly going to be a good thing. Of course, with the loss of Zach Eflin, with the loss of Kyle Gibson, with the loss of Noah Syndergaard, it's certainly going to weaken that spot there a little bit. Our home opener next week against the Cincinnati Reds at 3:05. We have not started the season on the road since 2018. We were supposed to do it in 2020. Of course, that got delayed, and of course because of the virus, we ended up opening the season against the Marlins at home. We have not started the season on the road since 2018 when we lost to the Atlanta Braves. So it's been quite a while. Gabe Kapler's first year as a manager. That's the last time that we were on the road for opening day. So it's been quite some time. So, of course, it's our turn to be on the road this time. It's our turn to be on the road this time. So I'm looking for a big year out of Nick Castellanos, bounce back from that wrist injury. Trey Turner's going to do his thing. I mean, the 300-plus average. He's going to be getting on base again. He's going to be stealing a ton of bags, 20-plus home runs. Kyle Schwarber's going to hit at least 40 once again. Hopefully he could have a little higher average. I think he's going to have a higher average than he did last year just because of the shift being gone now. I mean, his average is certainly going to be higher than it was last year. The Phillies went out and traded for Christian Pache today, the Oakland A's, formerly of the Atlanta Braves, just to add some depth out there in the outfield. So I'm so pumped for the season. I mean, I'm looking forward to Harp coming back in the second half. I think everybody is. I'm really devastated here about Hoskins, but Derek Hall, he's going to mash righties. But he can't hit against a lefty. So that's the big problem. That's like the big it's just like it's the hair in the soup. He's so good against right-handed pitching, but he is garbage against left-handed pitching. He's terrible. So he's so bad against left-handed pitching. So, guys, that's pretty much it. So the weird JT Muto injection, I had to talk about that, of like that insecure, almost just looked like it was like some like immature middle schooler, like this, like having a little power and he had to try to use it. He wouldn't leave until he tried to exercise his power. It was so weird, and it just was so silly, and so it made him look like a fool. Like he only humiliated himself. He felt humiliated because of JT Muto putting his glove down, and he's like, what, I'm going to feel really humiliated now. You're out of here. I mean, everybody's laughing their heads off, and of course the crew chief defends him. Oh, that was his discretion. We don't know what really happened. Okay, this typical never taking ownership of any situation, typical of umpires. So best of luck for the Phils tomorrow, 4:05, the first pitch in Arlington, Texas. Aaron Nola, the ace, going against former New York Met Jacob deGrom. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on that notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section at Phillies Hot Stove Media, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Piazza Media. Card text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshotsmedia@gmail.com. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. We're not seeing everybody tomorrow, but it's a new beginning for me and my channel. I'll see you guys.